$4 million in annual spending. That's $100 million in liquid net worth at a 4% rated withdrawal. And if you think that's just a few more zeros, you're missing the point entirely. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly where that money goes. Not in theory, but the actual life you can have when you reach this level. In addition, I'm going to break down the 4 profound psychological shifts that change not what you buy, but who you become. One where institutional freedom becomes your reality, one where impact at serious scale becomes possible, and one where your family's legacy can be locked in for decades. Because here's what nobody tells you. At $4 million in annual spend, not only can you afford to live a life better than most, you can actually cross over into a world of completely different human experience. So whether you're at 20 million trying to get to 50 million, you're at 50 million trying to get to 100 million, or you're already at this level and you don't understand what it's all about, after today, you're going to truly understand what the meaning of abundance is. Now, $4 million in spending annually might seem like excess to most, and I get it. But here's what they misunderstand. This isn't about buying more stuff, or showing off, or excess. Every single dollar is intentional, and every single category has a purpose. Now let's start with real estate, because this is where you tend to see the first major expansion. You're not just living in 3 homes anymore. You probably have 4 or 5, covering every season, every purpose, every desire, and every occasion. Let's start with your primary residence, Naples, Florida. 12,000 square feet, premium waterfront property. The value of this home? $25 million. The annual costs here include property taxes at $200,000, insurance at $75,000, HOA and club fees at $50,000, utilities at $45,000, and maintenance at $75,000. That's $445,000 a year just for your primary home. Your second home, Aspen, Colorado. 6,000 square feet, and you're located in the best ski in, ski out area. Worth about $15 million and annual operating costs of $195,000. Your third property, a Nantucket summer estate. 5,000 square feet, private beach, worth $10 million. It's a seasonal property, but it's maintained year-round for a cost of $125,000 per year. And fourth, we can't forget the Manhattan pied-à-terre. 2,500 square feet, cost of about $8 million, and $110,000 annually in upkeep. All in real estate operating costs annually? About $720,000. And what this creates? You could be anywhere you want, whenever you want. Winter in Naples, springtime in Nantucket, summertime bouncing between the beach and the mountains, and fall, Manhattan for the business vibe and the culture. Every property is perfect, always ready for you, zero stress ever. But real estate's just the foundation here. Wait until you see what the infrastructure looks like. This is where everything transforms, and the real difference between being wealthy and institutionally free. You're not hiring an estate manager anymore. Now, you have a chief operating officer for your life, earning a couple $100,000 a year. This person isn't just managing properties. They're overseeing every aspect of your life and running it like a Fortune 500 company. They oversee the staff across all of your properties, they coordinate between your financial and legal professionals, and they keep your family's best interests at top of mind, always thinking strategically about what comes next. Your private chef earns $145,000 a year and is with you 6 to 7 days a week, whether it be an intimate dinner for 2 or a seated dinner for 20. You have a full-time executive assistant earning $125,000 a year. They handle your calendar, your meetings, all logistics and travel, and they work solely for you. Each secondary property has a coordinator. $90,000 spent between Aspen, Nantucket, and Manhattan. Housekeeping at secondary properties, getting things ready before and after visits, in addition to maintaining things throughout the month, goes for another $60,000 a year. You have a personal trainer who travels with you year-round for $100,000 a year, in addition to the cost of travel, dining, and living arrangements. Landscaping, pool, and maintenance across all properties, a personal driver on retainer, in addition to technology and security professionals at the ready. Your total household infrastructure on an annual basis? $950,000. Now let me tell you what this creates. You never have to touch anything operational. You have a COO, someone who wakes up every day and has the goal of making your life effortless. And what this does is it ensures you never waste any of your time making low-level, low-impact decisions, ever. Your time is completely and utterly protected. But that's just the household. Wait until I show you the aviation and mobility infrastructure. At $4 million in annual spending, the aviation fundamentally changes. You're not buying NetJets hours anymore. You own fractional shares in your own private jet. Let's say a quarter share of ownership in a Citation X or a Gulfstream G280. Your annual costs include the fractional payment, management fees, and insurance, totaling about $350,000. Variable costs for about 100 to 125 hours in flight time, including fuel, crew, landing fees, and catering, we'll call that about $250,000. You do maintain a NetJets card for backup and flexibility, and that's another $50,000 a year. This brings your total aviation spend on an annual basis to $650,000. What this creates? You fly 100 plus hours a year on your plane, your configuration, and your schedule. You can decide this morning to be in Aspen this afternoon, and in 2 hours, your wheels up. Your family can travel together. 14 people on one plane through Europe for a month. Time saved compared to commercial? About 150 hours a year. You've essentially made travel frictionless. And along with these foundational categories do come the ancillaries. Ultra-luxury vehicles at every property and a private car service in Manhattan. Zero transportation stress ever for about $180,000 a year. Travel and experiences, $150,000 on luxury accommodations, $180,000 on dining and entertainment, $190,000 on transformational experiences, African safaris, Mediterranean yacht charters, memory creation at the highest level. And when it comes to health and wellness, you have concierge medicine, longevity protocols, and they're administered by the best professionals worldwide. This is going to go for about another $240,000 a year. Next is philanthropy and impact, which is comprised of about $300,000 a year in structured giving through your foundation, and another $100,000 a year to family members in need. This is where you can leave a lasting impression. And probably not top of your mind, but still important, personal spending. About $190,000 a year, which includes quality wardrobe, membership to exclusive clubs, exploring hobbies at the highest level, and having a buffer for comfort. And what does this actually feel like on a day-to-day basis? Let's start with Monday. You wake up at 7 a.m., could be Naples, Aspen, Nantucket, or Manhattan, wherever you decide. Your chef has breakfast ready, your trainer arrives promptly at 8, and you know it's already on your docket because your executive assistant emailed you the night before. All you have today is one meeting at 10 a.m. You're not doing anything operational or logistical or anything that doesn't require your unique involvement for the matter. Your day is entirely yours, and that is what $950,000 in annual infrastructure spend gets you. Fast forward to Sunday, and you have a random thought. It'd be really great to get the whole family together next month. You mention it to your household COO on Monday, and by Friday, you have 3 curated options. First, a private villa in Tuscany. Sleeps 20, private chef, all good to go. Costs about $320,000. Option 2, a coastal estate in Big Sur for 2 weeks. $280,000. Option 3, a private island in the Bahamas for 10 days. $350,000. You choose Tuscany, and a week later, the villa's confirmed, the flights are ready, logistics and ground coordination are handled, and the private chef is confirmed. What did you do? You made one decision and approved it. What did your infrastructure do? Everything else. And the cost of all of this? A fraction of your net worth for 3 weeks with your family that they'll never forget. This is what $4 million in spending a year gets you. Now, the numbers tell you what's possible, but what they don't tell you is how profound the psychological shift can be once you're living this way. I'm talking about the realizations that come along with creating this type of abundance. First and foremost, the COO role is transformational. The difference between an estate manager and a household COO is the difference between managing properties and having your life run like an institution. For a couple $100,000 a year, your life operates without your involvement. You only engage strategically, never operationally. Second, the aircraft changes everything. Here's the math. $650,000 a year could feel a bit expensive until you realize what it allows. 100 plus hours of flight time, your entire family traveling together, memories that will last for generations, all without the headaches of coordinating any of it. You save about 200 hours a year. That's roughly 5 work weeks of your life back. Third, impact creates more fulfillment than lifestyle. Why this matters? Once lifestyle is handled, and at $4 million in annual spend, lifestyle is utterly handled, the question then becomes, what are you building towards? $400,000 in annual giving can fund entire programs, endow scholarships in perpetuity, and support research that changes the world. And that is where meaning lives at this level. The fourth realization is where all the hard work, time, and effort comes together, and where I would argue that one enters into a whole new world, the time freedom calculation. Really having a full understanding of what building out this infrastructure buys in time. Complete household management, that's 20 hours back in your week. An executive assistant, another 15 hours back to you. Travel planning and logistics, 5 more hours. Property maintenance, 5 hours. Financial and administration, an additional 5 hours. That's a total of about 50 hours a week, or about 2,600 hours a year. And what's even more incredible is that that's the equivalent of about 325 8-hour workdays, or 65 work weeks. That's more than a full year of your life back every single year moving forward. So what does all this mean? Let me bring it together for you. What $4 million in annual spending creates is institutional infrastructure. Your life runs like a world-class organization, your capital is managed at institutional grade, and your staff is anticipating issues and needs before they occur. This is complete time sovereignty, which allows for extraordinary experiences at scale. And here's what it doesn't create: complexity you don't want, excess you don't need, and status symbols that are meaningless. Every single dollar goes towards one of 4 purposes: infrastructure that creates freedom, experiences that create meaning, impact that creates legacy, or systems that enable complete and total presence. Your time isn't yours to fill with obligations. It's yours to invest in what matters most to you. Your family isn't just your immediate household. It's future generations you're preparing and providing for. And your legacy isn't accidental. It's intentional, and it's designed by you. And if you're working through the different levels of wealth and trying to understand what might be enough for you, check out our next video here.